Hi, my name is Kyle. I've made my clients multiple six figures, and personally I've made over $30,000 in a month in revenue. And in this video I'm going to walk you through the proposal system that I use to sign a lot of my clients, and how I make sure that this is also a build that I give to them, and how to make sure that you are displaying that you completely understand their problems and that you can solve it for them. So let's jump over to it. So just to give you a quick demonstration, this is the exact proposal system that it looks like. So first of all, it has their name, who it's for, who it's prepared by, the date, and then a short note beforehand, then the challenges. So this is basically the three problem sections that I built out to make it really clear that I could understand what I was helping them with. So you have the challenge. Then we move on to the solution. So we basically say, look, here's this problem, and how I'm going to solve it. Now, what I've done is I've preloaded all the ways that I would solve these issues, so that whenever there's similar problems or I'm pitching a certain type of service, it knows exactly what the solution should be. But it also tailors to exact unique issues. From there, I have the scope of work, so all the things I'm going to deliver for them. And then from there, I have a timeline of when exactly I'm going to be completing every single part of this scope of work. And carrying on, I have the investment of how much it's going to cost them. And then below that, I have ongoing optimization, the guarantee if there is one, and sometimes some other options that they can, if they want to buy, they can buy as well. I also include the terms of the engagement and then an acceptance down there, where if they sign that, they get a PDF version, and then it takes them to a Stripe payment link where they can just pay. So what I've basically done with this proposal is I've laid out how I'm going to solve it. I also included the service agreement, so that means I won't have to send over two documents, and the payment link, so I don't have to send over that either. It's all in one sort of document. I'm going to walk you through how you can go out building a proposal system like this for yourself. So what we're going to do now is jump over to Claude Code. So here we are in Claude Code. So I use a terminal called anti-gravity. Now there's loads of videos out there on how to use this and how to get to this point. But honestly, just go watch those other YouTube videos and I'll tell you how to do it. Honestly, in this day and age, I would recommend just using the Claude Code app. So literally type up Claude Code, download it. It may look a little bit scary, but trust me, it's not that scary. It's the exact same thing. I always like to make sure I'm on the one of the best plans. So I use Opus 5 at the moment. You don't really need Fable anymore. And make sure I'm at least on extra high. I'm on the max plan, which is like the most expensive plan. So I have higher usage. But if you're concerned about usage, you can obviously drop to lower models. But basically, in this, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to say to it in order to basically build out a proposal system for your own. I'll show you how I prompt it as well. So I use a tool called Wispr Flow. As you can see, it's moving down there in the bottom and transcribes my voice, and that's what I use to save a lot of time and to make sure I'm moving with speed. So you can say something like this. Hi, I'm building out a proposal system for my clients. What I want to include is animations and graphics alongside it to make it look really clean and unique. Ideally, I want it to have a solution section, a challenge section, a timeline section, scope of work section, an investment section, guarantee section, and ongoing optimization. Also, please include a service agreement at the bottom of it, because I want to make sure I'm just sending it in one document with an option for them to sign. And then finally, a payment link that we can attach to it with my Stripe. Please ask me any necessary questions you need in order to make sure we can accomplish this. But yeah, so now this is what this looks like. From there, I'd put it into plan mode. So instead of bypass permissions, put it into plan mode. Whenever you're building out something new, always put it in plan mode and say, I'm building out a proposal system skill for my clients. So now send that. And then we'll get to work and get ticking. So I'm not going to have you sit in, waiting already. But I already have an animated proposal skill here. So it'll basically use that. But you're basically going to be able to get to the same point as well. And when you tell it to ask for what you need, it will then prompt you and ask you questions on, okay, so what's their business name? Is there a call transcript? So another thing I do is I use another tool called Fathom. So yeah, this tool right here, basically it jumps into any call that you have, transcribes it all. You can take the call transcript, put it into Claude Code, and it can help you build out this proposal system as well. But carrying on, right now what it's doing is basically it's finding my skills, going through everything, and it'll make a demo proposal, and then from there it'll push it to a platform called Vercel. Which workspace should this be built in? I have another workspace called V2, where it's mainly I do my real stuff, but this is basically just for a demo, so I'm going to have it in the content workspace that I have that I made for these YouTube videos. From there, how should the prospect actually sign the service agreement? Type name and webhook, static link proposal. Yep. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to use a Stripe API, but for this one we'll do a static link per proposal. Should paying be gated behind signing? Sign first and pay unlocks. Yes, that's what you want. Cool. So I'll ask you questions like that on how it wants to be built out. So from there, you will then want to go to Vercel. Basically, it's a platform pretty much where you can host loads of sites like I did for this system here. It also has an API. You can connect it with Claude Code as well. And from there, what that means is you can then build out the proposal system and it can publish directly onto the web. And that's a link you can then go send to your client. So you don't need to pay for like PandaDoc or other tools anymore. You can basically run everything from here. So this basically allows you to stop paying for as many subscriptions. So this is one of the most valuable things I usually come in and build for clients, and I use for myself as well. So carrying on, basically it's got some exploration agents running right now, basically to build all this out. But to give some more context while we're here, the main thing you want to think about though when you are building this proposal system is it should either be, if you already send proposals, it makes sense to do this because you'll save on subscription costs. But if you're not and you already have a high close rate and a good sales process, there's probably not need to add this. The reason is because you don't want to break things that are already working. Like when you're building out AI systems and automations, you mainly want to focus on the things that can give you an improvement to your current metrics. So if you're already not sending enough outreach, you should probably focus on helping building out systems that can allow you to send more outreach. If you have an insanely high churn, you should probably build out systems that allow you to decrease your churn. So always focus on the core constraint of the business. So obviously there's a theory of constraints, which is a theory that businesses won't grow or will only grow to the size of their constraint. So you have to solve for that constraint always, and that constraint can always be changing. It can be churn, it can be outreach, it can be number of like how much you're spending, it could be cash flow, all these different things you have to solve for. But this proposal system is one of the best systems that I've found in order to increase close rates because it's helped me increase mine, because it shows that I'm putting a lot of work into my clients, actually building out something specifically tailored to what they need, and not just like a generic message or document or template that I'm using. It's customized for every single client. So yeah, basically you want to take this and get it to ask you any questions. You're going to have to add various API keys. These are just keys that allow Claude to speak to other platforms. It allows it to speak to platforms like Stripe, like Vercel. And that's the only two you should need to connect. And from there, it'll be able to add the Stripe payment links and the Vercel landing pages. Cool. Now I'll come back to you once the proposal is finished. Another thing I wanted to mention here, just before we cut to the proposal, is you also want to set up on a platform called Modal. So this is the Modal platform. Basically what it allows you to do, if you've ever heard of platforms like Zapier, Make, or N8N, it allows you just to host those workflows, but in the cloud. So for example, for N8N, what you need to do is you have to physically build it out. You have to connect it up and trigger it. And you basically have to wire it all manually. Whereas with Modal, what you can do is you can just have Claude push a Python script, which is what every automation is, into this platform, and it's ran from webhooks and schedules. So what that means is whenever a proposal is made, upon creation, Claude will send a signal to Modal saying, hey, do this skill. And what it will do is create a Stripe payment link, which is then sent back to Claude and attached to the document. And that is how this whole process system kind of lives in the cloud. So you don't need other backing tools to connect all these systems. Okay guys, so we're back. As you can see now, the proposal is finished. And here is how it looks. So this is a mock company. Proposal for Bramble & Co., a pipeline and renewal system. Here we have the date today. We have Idris basically saying, after our call, mock call. Basically what we talked about, what we discussed and how we're going to go about doing it. Then we have the challenges. So the spreadsheet is stale by Wednesday. Renewals arrive with no warning. There'll be 2 people, 1 account, neither knows. So here's our solution. We're going to have a pipeline that updates itself. Renewal warning 6 weeks out. 1 view that all 14 can see. We have a scope of work with new pipeline stages, spreadsheet migrations, email syncs, all this good stuff. Then we have the timeline. It's going to take total 18 business days. And I always aim to do it quicker than that as well. Because if you set expectations low, but you deliver quicker, it's great. Obviously the investment, and then the same thing as well. Popular add-ons as well that I do for people like partner packages. So these are actually some of the add-ons I actually have, which I now do in most of my proposals. The guarantee section, and then terms of agreement as well. And then, yeah. I don't know if this will actually take to a Stripe link. I think I'd make sure. And then we That's how it looks. Confirm. Yeah. I made sure not to send it to a Stripe link because I don't want to actually create anything there. But what would then happen, as you can see, it dials a PDF there. It would then take the individual to a Stripe payment link where they can pay. Yeah, that's exactly how you build out a proposal system. All you have to do is talk to Claude. As you can see here, this is what it did. A second demo proposal built. So yeah, good stuff. Any questions at all, let me know. Put in the comments down below. I'll be happy to answer them. That's all from me. Have a great day, and we'll speak soon.